Hello anybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Scarbs or Iron Scarbs, and if you're new here, this is where we talk about fitness, lifestyle and mindsets. Today we have my very first guest joining us. It is DomCosLive and his co-host Gabe. He's here to tell us everything about his story, his training, habits, challenges, everything. So let's kick back, let's relax and let's get into it. First question for the gentleman here today. We have, for anyone who might know you, how did you first get into training?
Okay, all for it, man. So, I like to think I'm speaking for both Dom and myself here. Our training, fitness journey all started with sports when we were younger. That's actually how we met. We played baseball together when we were actually 10 years old. And little did we know we would soon meet again on the high school baseball team and in the weight room and doing all that. And that was like where the grind really started. We went to the weight room every day before school, after school, practice after school, and the games on top of that all day, every day, 11 months of the year, just in the weight room, the two of us. And that kind of kicked off the grind. And we noticed that when we got into high school and everyone else kind of stopped doing all that, we made a promise to each other and ourselves to stay on top of it, stay consistent, and really just keep the progress going and make it a lifestyle.
That's really good. So you two have been friends for like 10 years now.
We're talking like childhood, yeah.
Yeah,
Like
it's crazy because we didn't know each other back then. I mean, we probably have seen each other, dapped each other up, said what's up, but we didn't know hey, that's actually Gabe by now. So it's kind of crazy because in high school, it's a lot of the people from the Little League would go up to the high school team, and then it's you would see those familiar faces, but all grown up again. And I had a point in my life where I wasn't playing baseball for 2 years, and it was a sharp gap, and I did miss these opportunities with the team. And there's a travel team. Maybe should I not dox the travel team? Don't dox the travel team. But there was a travel team where I never got part of that, and it was just a big thing with family issues.
It's you and your team, and you guys are all dying and struggling and hurting together, and that's not a feeling I don't think I could ever live without.
I had quite a similar thing, with my rugby team back in the day. We'd do, I think they were called suicides, which is a crazy name for it, which is where you'd run from one point to a close point and back, and then you'd run to a longer point and then back, and then run even further and back. And so I understand that brotherhood of a sport where you play together, that it really brings a team together, and you can make some really, really, really strong friends from that. Because I had the exact same thing, I'm still really, really close with a lot of my mates from my rugby team. So I do appreciate that. So
yeah, that's cool. It hit home for you too.
yeah. Was there a specific moment or person that made you take the gym seriously? I mean, besides Gabe being the one person that made you really get into it, but was there one moment that really struck you as this is the time that I take it seriously from now on?
No, I just remember being in the weight room in baseball and just I'd be hitting the weights, and the next thing you know, a week later, I'm going up a little bit. And every time I make that little bit of progress, it just kind of lit a fire in me. This is what I love doing. This is what I want to do. Just even I would start outside of weight room, getting extra workouts in. I'd be just I'd have the conditioning workout before, and then I'd go home, and when I have my time, I just hit an actual lift, and I'd start looking up bodybuilders and influencers. It developed this passion for working out, and then it soon by the end of baseball, senior year, I'd literally be the only one working out, doing my own workout in the baseball gym, and everyone else is walking around talking, not giving a shit, and you have to go run or something because no one's working out. But dude, it's fun.
Dude, mine's almost a continuation of that. My big moment was because obviously, you're in the weight room with all of your friends from high school and stuff growing up, but then after high school, I didn't see any of them. We all kind of went college, do our own thing, but I made sure I stayed consistent in the gym. And there was a time I went back to my home gym, and I saw a lot of my old friends from high school, from that team in the gym. And instead of me looking up to those guys, because all throughout high school, those were the guys that were older than me, bigger than me, stronger than me, and I looked up to them and I was chasing them. For the first time ever, I'm in the gym and it switched. They came up to me and asked me what I thought they should hit, telling me they were like hyped up on my progress, and now all of a sudden they're the ones chasing me, and they told me like that's an expectation. This is who I am now, and this is the standard I've set for myself. There's no excuse not to hold up my end anymore. Right? It was a big like the guy that I looked up to, and the guy that looked up to me. This is who I have to be.
Damn.
Honestly, every my life came from just
Damn.
knowing, like staying consistent made me pass what my goal was, and I didn't even know it was past. So I can't even go back again.
Yeah, exactly. Agree. You know, like my consistency with the gym, like it sometimes fluctuates. Like it's just been summer. I've had like a few holidays and things like that. And on holiday, I couldn't find a gym anywhere, and I kind of lost that consistency. And I'm now getting right back into it. And, you know, I'm making my own meals and things like that, which is difficult. I'm a terrible, terrible cook. Like my meals are the most dry, bland things. I use like low-fat beef mince and basmati rice, brown rice, and that is it. No seasoning, no nothing. Put it in a box, put it in the fridge, and take it out a few days later. And
hey man, don't forget, seasoning isn't high calorie, bro. You know the ton of the seasoning.
Low cal sauce.
Dude, go hit up some low calorie sauces.
That's what. Sorry, how would your friends describe you inside versus outside of the gym? Would they say that you're pretty similar, or oh my god, the voice cracks? Would they say you're pretty similar, or would they say you're pretty different inside and outside?
I like to think that people think I have a similar mindset inside and outside of the gym. Obviously, there's some fluctuations here and there, but the same way I try to leave everything in the gym because I don't like leaving feeling like I could have given. I try to treat every aspect of my life like that. I spend a lot of money and time on like courses and trying to better myself and trying to be on the like self-improvement grind. I read a ton of books. I probably read a couple books every like month or two. I try to just take in as much knowledge as I can. Try to build businesses, websites, trying to make sales. I'm just trying to make sure I live my life and work here just as hard as I possibly can for as long as I possibly can. So that would be to dream. And all I know is that if I can keep that same mentality outside of the gym as well, things will fall into place where they're supposed to, and I definitely think that does show for the people around me 100%.
Yeah, you make your own luck.
100%, dude. I don't believe in luck, man. It's all probability. It's all probability.
So it's all about.
Yeah, I really try to push myself, whether that's in the gym or out the gym, the same way. And people know me as that guy that just like puts his head down, gets to a task, and works on it. Like I could talk about dating. Dude, it's crazy, but I mean, like with karate, you know, like I'm a black belt in karate. I'm a first degree. I've been doing it for like 14 years now at this point. But I've been every week, you know, I have to go to training. You can't miss a day, and there'd be these tournaments, and you'd have to put all this work into it to, you know, try to be the best person and win like the best trophy. It's just that same mindset in life where like I'm trying to put my head down, get to work, try to make money, try to improve the stream. Like when you got the results, for those. Yeah, it's really just consistency and grind and like it's the hard work, you know. A lot of hard work, like you do, like it pays off in the end, and I've seen it already with so much stuff, like with study. A quick example of dating. I used to buy these courses, like dating courses, and you know, I'd be really studying that stuff because, like, back in the day, I had like no confidence, and that had to do with me being a little more overweight. You know, my parents got divorced too, so you know, I had literally no confidence. I would be hanging out with maybe a couple friends at high school and stuff. So I was like, damn, man, I just want to get a girlfriend, just get someone to be there with me the rest of my life. And I literally, like, it's kind of embarrassing to say, but I spent like $600 to get the best advice on the dating apps. But hey, man, I met the girl of my dreams, so it's all that. So, you know, again, I stuck with it. I went from 0 game to some game. You know, I didn't have the best game. You know, just a good game, but hey, man, I got the girl of my dreams. So again, just like pushing through it, getting the hard work. You know, I take that not just in the gym, but just everywhere. Even in school, like I woke up this morning at like 7, went to school, started studying, and then I got back at like 11:30. You know, and did more than I normally could have did.
Exactly.
Because now we're here to do results. Now we're here.
Hidden legs too.
Hidden legs and too. You know.
Damn.
We're putting and we're pushing.
You're right on it, right on the grind there. That's really good. I can't believe. How do you find books on dating? I mean, that is such like a. I had no idea that was even a thing. Courses for it.
I think his name's Charles Black. If you look him up, he's got.
If there's one thing you should know, man, it's the United States, man. We have literally anything you could possibly think of is probably here, good or bad.
Charles Black, American actor known for roles in Patriot and Selma. Charles Alden Black. This can't be the right guy. Charles Black.
I don't know if it's Charles Black. It is someone black.
Someone black. I mean, I don't think you can say that, Dom. Yeah, he's an actor apparently.
What a guy!
I mean, there was Coach Kyle that Gabe knows. I used to always watch this guy.
Oh yeah, there's lots of like online guys YouTube, but they're just like changing your life, man. Like self-improvement, going from like guy that smokes weed, drinks too much alcohol, or vaping, or smoking, whatever it is, just like going from that to life you actually enjoy, that you feel fulfillment from. And we're trying to bring that, to the viewers in the chat too. Like, yes, me and Dom both stand by this 100%. That good life is one where you crave hard things. People that crave hard things for that feeling of accomplishment, fulfillment, typically have a lot higher ceiling for potential. For sure, man. My speech isn't working. But,
no, it's all right.
Yeah, competition too is great too. We always like pushing each other. It's always a different vibe when you have just a solo lift versus like a duo lift. Like I feel like you get a lot more push out of like a duo lift, but there's a lot more distractions. But it's more fun too. Solo lift, you're more on the grind, but it's a little dangerous because bench press and you gotta get Papa Cost on here.
You need a spotter.
Yeah, of course. So.
We're not trying to get paid.
Gabe, you mentioned what like a typical day in your life is. You're doing business and stuff, right? Walk me through, the both of you, like a typical day from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep. What does that kind of look like to you?
I wake up, I hit the snooze on my alarm. I wake up again, hit it one more time probably, and then I get myself up. So it's usually 2 snoozes. I'm working on that. It's brutal, man. Like I know sleep, but I wake up, get myself out of bed. I've been having green tea recently, Gabe, but I'm either having green tea for like the natural caffeine or like a cup of coffee. Then usually like Monday through Thursday is like I gotta go to school for calculus, so I'm in business calc, gotta start studying. And right after school, I literally hit on the stream. I hit the live button, go live, dedicate that hour, maybe 2 hours to just like working out in the gym, for myself and also to inspire people. Then usually after that, it depends. Like I either go to work. I have karate, so I'm actually a karate instructor. So that's my kind of side gig, I guess, because I'm not fully there working. But I work at the karate studio. I help teach kids from like 4 years old to like literally grandpas. Yeah, so it's pretty cool, and it's great because it helps like with my confidence. It helps public speaking is great. So and especially having like what do you call it? But having tolerance or like self-control to not scream at little kids is like it's very important. You gotta have that control. So you gotta teach them the way. So I love that's usually what I do. Then I get home usually really late because like the work goes from like 4 to like 9 usually. So I usually get home, edit a couple clips, whether that's recently doing like the AI stuff, but usually I take clips from the stream, try to post them real quick at like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and be consistent about that every day. It's very important to me because we're trying to be on that grind. So, the more you put into something, I believe the more you'll get out in the long run. So that's usually a typical day. And if I don't have school or don't have karate, I'm, on the grind, whether that's maybe going on a hike, going to see my girlfriend. That's a big, it's a part of my life. So always, hanging with the girlfriend, being there for her, Maybe soon working out with her on the street. We're in the talks. No, I haven't came up to that yet. So on bedtime, it varies. It varies, but usually by 12, I'm in my bed. So I'm not going past 12. I know some people stay up to like 4 in the morning, just I'm going to leave or just not. What? No, it's crazy. But nah, so I usually in bed by 12 at the latest. Interesting fact about me, like I can't fall asleep with no sound. Like I actually have to have someone talk or music on while I sleep, or I won't fall asleep. It's really weird. Like someone can be screaming in a microphone, and I can fall asleep.
Those ones make her up from the night crazy.
I think too much. Yeah, I kind of have to just let my mind just wander off and like listen to the words. It's not being It's weird, dude.
It's a pretty good routine, actually.
It's pretty solid, you know. Like after this, like hit the lift, and have some dinner.
First one, of course.
Must have been great for your parents as a baby, for your parents to have you fall asleep with someone talking. Must have been brilliant for them.
Yeah, I think, but you know what the cause of that is? I'm realizing my mom bought this like little aquarium, like then you push the button and it's like it does a song, and I think it said something at the end. So every night I would fall asleep to that when I was in my rocker or whatever it's called.
Your young years, Bob.
Yeah, literally.
In your crib.
And then it went to radio, like Kiss FM or AFP.
OG Kiss, we're doing Monday through Friday. We live in California, so I usually, every single day on the weekdays, I usually wake up the first time at around like 6:15. I usually make a few trades right at market open. I usually do that pretty consistently, at least like 3 or 4 times a week, make some trades and things. And then I hate to say that I usually fall back asleep after that, only because I know that, especially with lifting, sleep is probably the most important thing for my gains. So after I make my trades, hopefully I'm comfortable, I can go back to sleep, get a little bit more rest, and then from there it's usually waking up second time to eat. Definitely hitting my lifts. That's usually I try to make one of the earlier things I do in the day. I find that I do a thing earlier in the day, everything else feels a little easier. So definitely hitting the lift, and then after the lift, man, that's when it's grind. Yeah, that's when I got obviously schoolwork that's got to get done. But if that's done, I'm either reading a book, doing a course, and building a website, coding, doing cold calls, trying to make some sales, see if we can get some things going with this. Marketing. I'm also in the process of getting my personal trainer certification right now. So I did a course going for a couple hours every day too. Hopefully I'll get that soon. I can start doing that as well.
So you both have lots of stuff going on outside of your training and your content online. Would you say that you find it quite difficult to balance a social life and all of this other stuff that you're trying to do at the same time with school and content and things like that? Because especially with Dom, you were saying that you're spending time making clips and spending time with your girlfriend as well at the end of the day, but it sounds busy, sounds very busy. Do you find that difficult? How do you manage that?
I usually have a routine in my day. Like I have a whiteboard, I put a couple goals I want to get through, and I check it off. And I start doing that, whether that's homework, whether it's having to edit a clip, whether that's girlfriend's time. But I literally just have goals, check them off, and I plan it every day. I have monthly goals too. I like having a routine schedule and trying to fit everything in. I've never had a point where I've thought I can't make this happen, because usually when I'm hanging out with my girlfriend or I'm editing a clip, I can maybe do a couple at the same time, so blending them together. No shots at my girlfriend, but she gets really tired at 10 p.m. So if it's past 10 p.m., I might start editing clips or just chilling, hanging out with Gabe in the hot tub, live. You never know, dude. So just able to blend all that together.
I have to say, for me, especially in my relationships, it's been a big issue for sure. I've had a lot of friendships fall through the cracks, mainly due to my routine and my goals. And that's been a really hard thing, especially because it's guys that I've grown up with, I care about them a lot, and I see what to do well. But I also realized can't be sacrificing myself and my own happiness and my goals just to, please them. I've had a lot of really good friends that I had to kind of walk away from just because I know that my success couldn't coexist with my relationship with them. It got to a point where I really did have to make a choice between my grind and my friendship, purely because our mindset just didn't really link up together. They wanted to, go have fun or go like do certain things that I wasn't really willing to do. And I knew like, no, like this goal, I have to get this done today. I have to do that. And I realized that the reason me and Dom have been able to stay really close throughout all this time is because we do link up in the area and we do get a lot of productive stuff done together. When I go and hang out with Dom, we're getting a lift, we're reading, we're editing clips, we're building our businesses, we're doing stuff like that, and that's the way I can find a balance there. But when it's come to relationships that it doesn't link up that well, it's incredibly difficult to find a balance there because I can't really afford to slow down a whole night to going out and partying with a friend and then feeling really shitty the whole next day and not being focused or productive. I can really afford something like that. So I really need to remove people like them from my life, and it has been really tough to admit, especially it's all people that I've grown up with. I definitely do wish they were here standing next to them today, but they're not. That was a real hard thing to accept, is that certain relationships, you kind of have to make a choice sometimes, and that was the biggest thing for me for sure. I don't know about you, but there have been a lot, even family members. A lot of people don't really talk about that. A lot of people don't really think about that when they start really grinding hard like that. Is friends, like that's a big responsibility, but it's not really expected all the time. It's a friendship, not a family member. So you're not expected to give them all your time. When it comes to your family, there's a level of expectation there. Like there's a certain amount of energy that everyone is expecting you to bring to those relationships in your family. Like my parents, it's a hard thing for them. My brother or my cousins or grandparents, because they want to be doing all these things. I have to be the one to tell them that they don't do them. That's what I do. It's the timing right now, and it definitely has affected some relationships with my family as well. And those are hard to escape from. It's not as easy as going away from friendship, moving their life, if they're still in their family. Everyone knows it. It's a lot more difficult there. But definitely what's kept me going through all that is realizing that, like, I do feel like I'm just meant for more than that. That's obvious and always because like I see my friends that are kind of wasting some time. Like I just know I'm meant for something better than for something bigger. And if I have a family member that I know hasn't achieved much in their life and they're trying to kind of dictate what I do, I have to tell myself I'm meant for something more than this. I'm on a path right now to achieve it. I can't let even a family member get in the way. And that's been a real thing for sure.
Wow.
But you've had, if you've had any experiences like in your life, definitely it's been a thing for me for sure.
Yeah, I mean, a lot for me. My schedule is busy. It is packed from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep. So I have a full-time job alongside like my streaming and my content and things like that. So I'm a waiter at a hotel restaurant, and that usually starts at like 12 or 3 o'clock. Now, before that, I'm making clips, I'm editing videos, things like that, just in the background, just staying on top and being active online. Maybe making a couple changes to my channel, because it is still very recent. Like, this is only the 3rd week of doing it, and I've somehow managed to grow to like a consistent 4 or 5 viewers every stream, which I'm very proud of. From about 12 o'clock or 3 o'clock until 10 or 11:30 at night, I'm just working. It's long shifts. The longest shift I ever had was 12 hours of just work. Very, very boring, and it drains me. But after that, at about midnight, or like 11 o'clock, I'll head to the gym, set my camera up and things like that. And then it's quite good because then I can rant about my work. People find that interesting. I can talk about my life, and things like that. Then I usually get home into bed for about 1 or 2 in the morning. It's always late nights, and then I'm up again the next day to do it all over again. It's busy, but it's good busy. I feel productive, and I completely agree with you with the whole family aspect, because I still live at home. Like my dad's downstairs watching TV right now, but it's hard for me to find time to actually be around with my family because I'm so busy doing work or streaming or editing or all these other things that kind of keep me away from them. So it's lucky, like for me today, I managed to have a meal with my dad, which is rare, like it's very rare, but I love it. You know, it's the small moments that I find really important to hold on to, especially during a busy schedule. It's really important to make sure that you are finding those times to be with loved ones, to be with friends, to be with family. It's really, really important. Thank you for answering that, gentleman. So,
Of course, yeah.
yeah. Do you ever struggle with like burnout or your body image, you know, and how do you deal with that as well?
If you're pushing yourself hard, you're eventually going to hit a point where you're going to feel a little burnt out. That's a given. That's 100%. That's never going to be something that's in there. It's really more about, in my opinion, I say state of mind. I actually just was at a Tony Robbins event in Anaheim for the last 4 days. I just got back today or the other day. So it was a lot about your state of mind and trying to get a hold of that sort of element. In my experience, burnout is usually mental first and physical second. We all hit the physical burnout. That happens. So this time being rest, maybe take a break, get yourself refueled, water, food. Usually our bodies are really good at being efficient. So I know that the physical burnout is a little bit easier, but that mental burnout is a little bit trickier. Sometimes even after resting up, you may feel more burnt out than you were at the beginning. I think that's when it's the most important to really ask why you're doing this, and it's not a good feeling, definitely. So it's more just push through the burnout. That's to stand by that. If you feel burnt out, it's more important than ever. So really trying to push through and persevere builds muscle. Same way when you hit failure in the gym, it makes you stronger. When you hit failure mentally, it push through. It also makes you stronger. That's almost like a difference in my head. So definitely, I think burning out is something that you can just push through. It sucks, it's annoying, and it's frustrating, but you can't afford to let burning out control you. So you never have the mental progressive body image, dude. I know me and Dom, both of us, man, it's sometimes some days you wake up and you're not feeling it. You look in the morning, you see your physique, maybe you even hit a pose, a flex, and you're like, do I look a little softer today than I did the other day? Do I gain some fat, lost some muscle? Even though nothing has happened, because clearly it hasn't been long enough for something like that to happen. But mentally, sometimes you can just trick yourself and get in your head and not really like what you see in the mirror. For me, at least, I like to look back to my album, because obviously I've got my photo and all of just progress page, go back to 2, 3, 4 years ago and see myself as like a chubby kid and just remember how I felt during that time. And then I look back in the mirror again and realize, maybe this isn't, maybe I really am in the right thing. But I trust, especially being natural, because it's really, let's be real, guys. We've seen Instagram, right? We go on YouTube, we go online, we see what guys look like in there. We don't look like that. And that's what we're trying to stress, especially to the viewers, is you're not supposed to. If you're a natural lifter, it's not normal to be looking like you're genuinely about to explode. Like, we have such a bad expectation of what we're supposed to look like. I feel like from AI and steroids and editing pictures and videos online, stuff like that, I feel like all these bad expectations are like some blame for looking in the mirror and not liking what you see. So I think it's more just being proud of myself for the progress rather than expecting something incredible in the mirror. I need to realize that the journey is the whole point. Me getting from where I was so long ago to today, that's why I did it. I didn't do it to have that picture on Instagram that's edited and doesn't even look like me anymore to try to impress people. That's not what this was ever for. It was for me to make progress, be better, and feel better. Above anything else, it was to feel better and be better. So that's what helps me. But definitely, we all have the days when we look in the mirror to you. You see looking at us.
Yeah, man.
That's a very real feeling, man.
Dude, how do I talk about this? No, that was so good.
You don't have to answer. I mean, with any of these questions, it's all very open.
No, I got some advice like to give. Like, if you are going now, like, one thing I usually do is if I'm like experiencing burnout in the gym, like, it's just a lot of it is just repetition. If you're doing the same like exercises, same weight all the time, you're gonna get burned out. So what's cool is there's so much to look up online, and there's different variations of all these different exercises. And one thing I discovered recently was like you can you can do bicep curls in so many different ways. Like Literally, we've been doing like Bayesian curls, which is like a new way to do it. We've been doing like hammer preacher curls. There's like so many different ways to do it, and it's great even in a science level. It's like it shocks those muscles, and it's like you're not doing the same thing to where you're not going to see growth. You know, you're getting all these new different muscle like fibers and all this stuff, like where you're starting to work that a lot more, you know, than doing like the same thing every time. So I was, you know, having these different exercises you can do, it really helps kind of push like that through that mental block for sure for me. And you know, like, and also music is a great thing for me too. Like, if I don't have music in the gym, then it's just gonna not be a good day for me. So I love just being able to DJ, switch up the music. You know, it really pumps you too. You know, pre-workout. Gotta have some pre-workout. Either that's like physical pre-workout, looking at a breakup text a long time.
Gotta play into the human needs, man. You got certainty, variety, significance, connection, growth, contribution, and you got your 6 like basic human needs right there. And again, it's all about focus. If you focus on horrible things, you're gonna have a horrible life. And that's how it works. What you focus on quite literally is what you live. That's your reality. And just sometimes shifting focus more to gratitude and just being grateful. I noticed that is a huge help. You don't like what you see in the mirror. Just be grateful for the work you've put in, the progress you've made, the people's lives you've impacted, the contributions you've made.
They have so many of these like little workout books, and whenever I'm like in a bad headspace, I always go back to my first book, which is actually over here. I can actually get it for you. It's like the first workout book where I track all like my workouts, and I literally go on page 1, and I'm like, God damn, man, I was lifting. Let's see, I was doing 15 reps of 55 preacher curls. Like, you know, you look back at that, and I know for a fact my form was probably like, oh, yeah, the whole time. So,
swinging it.
It's being able to see like the progress on writing, and even sometimes I do look at old photos, is just crazy, and it literally switches something in your brain where you're like, oh, I don't want to work out, I'm like not feeling it. So like, holy shit, I'm like looking nice. I'm like, yeah, maybe I do have a muscle here, and you're all like wanting to work out, and it's great, and that helps a lot.
You can change your
100%.
That was a great question, by the way.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, it's quite a good one. I think for me as well, like, especially with body image, I think Gabe hit the nail on the head there. You know, you can't really see it, but I have my mirror back there, and up in the corner, I'll grab it for you. So, up in the corner here, I have 2 photos of where I started. So it's where I look very chubby, very shit. You know, this was before I had like my big breakup. You know, I had like a relationship and it ended. It wasn't great. So I still have like a pendant that had reminded me of her when we were together on that. And it shows me, you know, not only through like the photo where I even have like belly rolls all throughout and massive love handles, and a reminder of my past relationship that I've grown mentally, physically, and throughout. You know, I'm much better than where I was on this photo. And I always keep the date on the back. It says on the back there, the camera isn't really picking it up, but it says day 1 on the 14th of the 6th, 2023 was when I properly started thinking about fitness and working out properly and consistently. And I keep them there on my mirror because I know that every time I'm going to go to my mirror, I'm going to be judging myself. And so I know that if I could look at my mirror, I can also see these photos and remind myself how much I don't want to be that again, and how much I want to continue improving from where I am now. And it's a brilliant reminder for me. So that would be my advice to anyone else who's on your stream or watching this video, is to always, you know, keep a picture of yourself somewhere that you can see it often, that reminds you of who you once were, so you can also see who you are now. It's a great, great way of doing it.
Yeah, that's very awesome. And if you remember, how long were you in a relationship?
So that relationship, I started it when I was 14. You know, I started when I was 14 years old, and we continued for 2 years, and it ended when I was 16. And after that, you know, everyone's been through a breakup, or will be through a breakup at some point, you know, or not. You know, sometimes, I mean, I'm not going to be a person of bad omens here, but you know,
it's all good, man. Actually, like a year ago, my like 2-year relationship, in a similar way, man. I gotta say that was the biggest slap in the face, maybe of my entire life. And that was the first time, because obviously friends and family is a little different. That was the first time, you know, that someone looked at me and looked at everything I had to offer, and after seeing everything, the good and the bad, that's when they decided that there's better and that they didn't want me anymore. And it's like, I want to hurt really bad. It's like, how do you see everything I have to offer and then they don't want me? Yeah. And that one really realized I need to prove that there wasn't any better out there. I need to prove what I offered, what I bring to the table was the best.
Yeah. It's such a raw, honest feeling to go through a breakup. You know, it's one of those things that really makes you reflect on who you are, who you were, and who you're going to be. You know,
like all of us have that. It's the honestly, in my opinion, breakups, heartbreak is the one feeling that brings all of us as people together. It doesn't matter your ethnicity, your background, your religion. Every person is affected exactly the same, and it hurts arguably just as bad. It doesn't even. So definitely that feeling of heartbreak and that loneliness that you feel, in my opinion, is like the most basic feeling of human nature we all share all together.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Wow, that was a very deep section. That was the lifestyle and mindset section. So thank you, gentlemen, for answering that honestly. We're going to move on to the training side of things. So I want to know your preferences, opinions, and all that kind of stuff on training. So to kick us off, I want to know workout split. What are we looking at? You know, do you do like the bro split of just like arms, then back, then chest, then legs, and rest and repeat? Or do you do more of like a push-pull? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I usually switch it up a lot. Like, I go from back and thighs to some forearms. I do shins to tries. I do sometimes shoulder in itself. Put some in there, spread claps throughout. Like, every day almost. Every day. Legs are a separate day for me usually. Sometimes I might hit leg and back. I'm already hitting these legs and but I switch it up. Sometimes I go arms, like do a bro split in there.
Yeah, I say
just have fun.
For the two of us, I definitely say we realize by now through our trial and error in the gym that your training is the stimulus, but it's your recovery where all the growth comes from, which is what you're looking for. The growth, I'm willing to bet, is what all three of us are looking for. Like, yeah, the stimulus is where we grind and put the work in, but the growth is what we're really chasing, what we're after. So definitely our split is I would call it a heavily modified push-pull leg split. Mm-hmm. The reason I say that is because all the different muscle groups, they don't recover in the same amount of time. So I don't think it makes sense to have a super strict routine that doesn't change, because I think your recovery is always changing. Sometimes I'll hit a chest day where I felt really good and my chest is sore for 3 days, versus I might hit a chest day where my triceps are a little bit iffy and I might be recovered in a day or two because I didn't hit chest as hard. So for me, I'd say the split is more based on the recovery aspect rather than the more basic split. Like, I might hit the first 3 days, thighs, chest, tries, legs, like everything gets mixed in there, but then I'll realize that my recovery is a bit different. So I might do a back and a chest, or I might do a shoulders, arms, or I might do a completely random day where I'll hit calves, hamstrings, and forearms and abs, just because everything else wasn't really caught up yet. Yeah. So I'd say the split isn't really always the same. It's heavily modified push-pull leg split, fully based on recovery. Whatever was recovered, that's moving the hit for sure.
Damn. Yeah, that's really good.
I tend to follow that too.
Heavy illegal performance-enhancing drugs. And they compared it to sleep. And the benefits of sleep were so above the enhancement drugs that sleep would be considered, if it were a drug, the #1 most illegal performance-enhancing substance. So that's how important sleep is. It outperforms every single illegal drug on the planet. That's how much you need to sleep. So that's the focus. You're better off having a better sleep schedule than lifting schedule, and I see that.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. So how long do you usually rest in between sets? Because I know that on my streams, I tend to talk so much that I end up just yapping for about like 5 to 8 minutes before actually doing another set.
Okay, so sometimes, and I don't know if we did this on stream yet, but sometimes we're locked in, we got our headphones on, we're hitting sets, maybe a minute and a half, go right on it. It's very rare. What I'd like to say on the DomCosLive. Usually, either we're talking about like different, good topics to talk about in the gym, health, fitness, all that good stuff. We're either dancing to crazy songs, if it's our set, so it might take like 5-10 minutes in between. So, maybe we should probably be cutting that time down on like to improve our fitness. But, we're having a lot of fun. We're bringing some the energy. Sometimes, we're also like spending time in between sets talking to chatters, like answering questions, like doing some requests.
I mean, I've seen a few of your requests with all the
engaging with the community, like that or something. Clip farming. Sometimes we want to like do something for a clip. So it's a lot of like doing engaging with the community, engaging with your best friend. It's having a great time in between sets. It's not all about like you have to hit it at a certain time.
And then to hopefully ease your mind a little bit, I consider myself very science-based when it comes to the gym and all that. I like to have confidence that what I'm doing is the best that I can be doing. And there's two types of fatigue. There's not just your local fatigue. Like you hit a set of bench press, your chest will be fatigued. But there's also a central, nervous system fatigue. Like if you were to go from a hard bench press to failure and then go get a set of squats, you're not going to do as many squats as a fresh set, even though you didn't even use your legs. And that's because you have a central nervous system level of fatigue as well. So a lot of the new science, these studies they've been doing have shown that actually taking longer rest in between your sets is actually a lot better for that nervous system fatigue. So you taking 5 minutes to your shot, if anything, that gets you back to a good place to hit really good set next time. So it really actually in terms of gains, a decent chunk of rest is actually not a bad thing. If anything, aim for 1.5 to 4 minutes of rest, depending on how hard of a set you're doing, is actually a target range. Definitely for me, if I'm less than 1.5 minutes, there's a time and a place for a high intensity, shorter duration lift if you don't have as much time. But if you have enough time, taking that extra couple minutes of rest is actually really, really good to give your whole body a reset from that nervous system fatigue and a more beneficial set on your next set. So I actually really do think the longer rest is great, actually.
Yeah. You know what fixes all of that fatigue? I gotta say, it's gotta be pre-workout and Monster Energy. They just keep me going all the way through. I have absolutely no shame in saying that.
And if you were right here, man, I would shake your head. I'm saying, man, the white Monster, bro, white Monster.
Oh my god, it's so good. So how many like reps per set do you do? Do you do like a set amount? Do you switch it up per exercise, or is it like a set, like 2 sets for 8 reps every time for every set? Or what's that look like for you two?
You really can have decent muscle growth anywhere from like 6 to 30 reps. That's what the science says. 6 to 30 reps is kind of a good range. Obviously, it's a pretty wide range. I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing the 30 reps, and I wouldn't maybe always push for the 6. I think having amount of everything is good. I think it's also really important to know what muscle group you're hitting. There are certain muscle groups that are smaller that require a lot more volume specifically on that one place. That includes biceps. Biceps recover faster than biceps and side delts. Those are the 2 fastest recovering muscle groups. Those things recover in like 24 to 48 hours. That's way better than any other muscle group. So you can afford to have 3 or 4 hard sets, maybe even two of them being to complete failure, and still be recovered within that 24 to 48 hours. So something like that, I might be more wanting to hit 15 to 20 reps even on a hard set. I don't really do a low rep set on small muscle groups. And then when you're going off compound lift, I'm going to say compound lifts where you can afford to do those low reps, because the lower rep, heavier weight you go also increases your chance of injury. That's a very real thing. Being someone that gets injured a lot. Right now, my wrist is broken and I have a torn labrum in my shoulder. So I definitely, and I've also broken my spine before. I've had my fair share of injuries. So I've learned through PT. PT is where I've learned a lot of this too, is that compound lifts, you can afford to go heavier, maybe be in maybe 5-6 rep range. But in terms of hypertrophy, there's lots of different training. If you're going purely for strength, that low rep range is good to build that strength in those compound lifts. But if you're going for purely hypertrophy, fully muscle growth based, you're going to want to be probably more in that like 10 to 20 rep range. And then when we talk sets, definitely, if they say target sets for muscle growth is somewhere around, like 10 to 25 sets per week. And this is interesting. I want to make sure everyone knows this. Chat, definitely listen up. The difference between 0 sets a week to 10 sets a week is here. And then the difference from 10 to 20 is maybe here. So getting even a couple lifts is so much better for you than nothing. And that's what I wish more people understood is you don't need to hit 20 reps.
Do you think that there is like a most overrated or underrated exercise?
100%. For me, I've got one in my mind right now that I think is the most overhyped thing in the world. And that's when people say they're like a hex press or something like that. They're trying to go for inner chest. The science does not back up that there's one solid way to hit your inner chest because your strand will go across your chest this way. So they either line up your upper chest, your mid chest, or your lower chest. Now you can do the best, in my opinion, to hit the inner chest is to do a deep chest fly because it stretches those bands across the muscles. People need to realize is genetics play a big role. And wherever your chest goes to in the middle, that's its max. I hate to say it, but if you have separation in your chest, it will never fill in the middle because you don't have muscle fibers there.
Yeah.
Same like that inner chest. And that's my biggest overhyped thing is people say, oh, you got to hit inner chest and do this tight squeeze in the middle. That doesn't exist. That's not real. There's nothing you can do besides a deep stretch to really hit that inner part of the chest. You really just have to focus the deep stretch to the bottom, not stopping at 90 on your bench press, but going as deep as you can, hitting chest. Maybe get that bar that even goes up a little bit so you can get even that little bit deeper. It's more depth is king when it comes to chest. There's no way to hit specifically that inner chest.
Sorry, Dom, you talk first. You go first.
Oh, okay, Ben. Thank you. Dude, this might be controversial, but I never do it. Just deadlifting in general, for me, it feels just way too overhyped. Like, I see all these guys doing so much heavy weight, but for like 1 or 2 reps. And I'm like, what are you getting out of it instead of ego? Like, you're just doing it for ego.
It's just a skill all for you, man.
I think the only acceptable cause for deadlift is if you're a powerlifter. If you're a powerlifter and you're going for those big weights and the competitions, you're doing all of that for your size and your growth and just pure mass, then train your deadlifts because there's so much form and technique to it that if you don't do right, you will just break your spine. And that's never fun. I'm sure Gabe can tell us about his spine breaking and how unfun it is, but
that was 3 years, man, of PT. That shit, that was horrible. That might be the worst experience of my life. But my big myth actually plays into the back. People are afraid to hit their lower back, and for good reason. When you hit your lower back and it's sore, it's a little bit painful. I get it, but what people I feel like need to understand is the cure for lower back pain is having a stronger lower back. Everyone. I mean, look, I'm going to do a demonstration just real quick. Everyone knows you want to keep your core tight, chest up, especially on squats, deadlifts, anything that's like a row or something. You're trying to keep this strong. I 100% agree with that, but I do believe there's a time and a place to train that lower back. So it's okay to go lower weight and purposefully round your back and straighten it back again to train that lower back because having a strong lower back, in my opinion, is a bulletproof.
Instead of deadlifts, you do the RDLs, yes.
RDLs are great.
RDLs instead.
But like I said, there is a time and a place to do RDLs with lower weight and actually round your back a little bit. Studies have shown that does actually promote strength gain in your lower back, not injury, but strength gain and anything injury prevention.
No, that's really good. So would you count that as your underrated exercise then?
Oh yeah, 100% underrated exercise. Doing kind of like an RDL lower weight and actually rounding your back. Is purposeful rounding your back. It's really good for strengthening those fibers down.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. There's a machine in the gym that I go to. So I go to a public gym, which is crazy when I'm streaming as well. I always have to go up to people and say, I'm streaming, by the way. Do you care if you're in the background or something like that? And,
So how often do people get bothered by that?
Yeah.
I've had one guy before that was like, actually, yeah, if you could keep me out of the background, that'd be really good. But I've never not gone up to someone. You know, it'd be so easy for me to say, you know, oh, actually, I'll just risk it this time. But if they do see me with a camera and then doing a weird dance because, you know, the stream told me to, then, you know, it explains nothing.
I give my props to you though, because doing streaming and stuff like that in public gym, that's like kind of uncomfortable. So you probably are getting out of the comfort, you're kind of building up a tolerance for doing your own thing in public in front of people you don't know. Essentially, good job.
You've got no idea. the things I say.
Just like second I can, it's just us. Maybe the occasional dad comes in with my brother. So, trucks outside right now, but we're very fortunate.
Yeah.
So that is pretty cool. You could be able.
Yeah, but that's great though, man. You're building up that skill, man, of just being able to do your own thing in front of anybody and just feel good.
Yeah, exactly. It is weird sometimes, though, I have to say. But yeah, in the gym we have.
I bet you get some weird looks from.
Yeah, we really do. All the time. I see people in the background because I do it all on my phone. I know that you have like a dedicated camera, but I'm not rich enough for that. So I just do it all on my phone, and I can see people in the background of it looking over and being like, what the fuck's he doing? You know? Which is really, really funny. But also we have the back extension machine, which is the weird one where you're constantly sat like that and you're like pushing back against the thing. Yeah. It's really weird, but it's really, really good for it.
I love the back extension. I wish my gym that I go to when I'm not working out in here, they have a back extension. It's not hooked up to cables or machine. It's the one that's just a guard on your legs. Like you bang down and come back up, or you can hold the weight. But I think those are great. That lower back, especially someone that has broken their spine before. Like I had broken my spine, and I'm considered a high risk person when it comes to back injuries. And I still have been instructed by some of the top sports PTs in the country and the state here to do that, and that was honestly really interesting. I figured that after I hurt my back, they told me not to, but they actually told me I needed to because building up that strength was the number one thing for injury prevention than anything else. So I wish more people knew that and understood that. And it's okay to train your lower back. It's okay for your lower back to be sore and fatigued a little bit. It's actually crucial for longevity and avoiding injury in your back.
Okay. Well, we're going to move on to the fourth section, which is the personal angle. With some of these questions, you don't have to answer. If you don't want to answer, you know, you can answer in your own way, or you can just say, actually, we'll pass on that question. But honestly, they're not too, they're not too shocking. So, you know, who do you look up to? You know, who's the role model, the one that you look up to and always say, that's the guy I want to be like?
I could say a celebrity. I could say, you know, some influencer online, but it's really just my dad at the end of the day. Really want to become like, you know, how successful he's been, you know, have the same mindset when it comes to putting like work first. You know, I just want to make him proud as well. And, you know, he was one of those few people growing up that really just was able to push me and get me out of like the comfort zone in so many things. Like I have, you know, he loves telling the story, but you know, I would love telling the story if I were to. But it's, you know, like when I tried out for the baseball team and I didn't make it that first time, he was always like, you know, Dom, you know, you tried your best, great stuff. You know, we're gonna email the coach. You're gonna go up to the coach, ask for what you did wrong, and you know, you're gonna learn from it. You know, and when he told me to do that, it just like.
And for reference here, we're talking probably about 80 to 100 guys are in this gym. JV varsity guys, JV guys, freshman guys, even guys that were just training, like coaches, everyone. They send us. We all think we're in trouble, man. They tell us to sit down, and they're about to talk to us. We're like, oh shit, we're about to run till our legs fall off. But that's not what happened. He said, our coach, I'm going to quote him here. He said, "There's a guy in here who has been showing up every single day and grinding and does not share any of the privileges that you guys get being on this team. And they're still in here grinding every day." And they said, that guy is Dom. And everyone looks at Dom, and our coach said in front of everyone, "Dom, welcome to the team." And it was the craziest experience. everyone went crazy. We were all cheering, clapping, and screaming, and it was like all that hard work you put in, it ended up paying off, and that was a crazy moment. I don't think I can ever.
And I literally can't thank myself. I owe all of my dad. That's how it's went, because he was always looking out for me. He was always in the corner in any way in life academically with that, which has been pivotal in my life. So I just, I always want to make my dad proud and be the best version that he would want me.
So the rumors are true. American High School is a movie. I mean, that is such like the perfect movie scene there. I can just picture it in my head. That's beautiful.
And it goes both ways, man. Every weird, horrible thing you can think of are also probably happening there.
Yeah.
Also, Ben, I will say we also have had our fair share of shooter moments too, where.
Oh God. Really?
Where we had to evacuate the school and go on lockdown because someone walked in with a giant duffel bag and they think that there's a gun or a bomb on campus. That is victim the bomb.
Holy shit! That's.
And that's happening to me. That's happening to other. That's a big problem with our high schools, man. Is shooter stuff.
God.
It happens more here than anywhere else. Dude, it's pretty bad. Man. We got some crazy people here.
That's crazy. That is actually mental. I can't believe that. I mean,
I say it's weird. There's a SWAT team outside, and we all have to walk out going like this. Walking out.
Didn't we all go to like that?
We all had to go to a rendezvous point. We all lined up one by one, each classroom, with our hands up to show that we're not going to shoot anybody. To the police officers and the SWAT, they have riot shields. They've got like M4 like assault rifles, dude. They had some. It's a crazy experience, man. Sometimes he went from breaking his neck and about to go pro football to his career's ended due to this injury, and he completely switched his grind, worked his ass off every single day, and ended up getting drafted into the MLB 2 years later. And that to me is the craziest story I've ever heard in my entire life. I don't understand how someone could have their dreams crushed and taken away right as they are about to get it, and still find it within themselves to work hard and chase something new and actually achieve it. And it's such an inspirational story to me, and that's how I want to live my life. No matter what kind of things happen, I just always want to not lose myself and always stay on the grind.
Yeah. That's really, really good.
That's a really good story.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Oh, dude, it was crazy, man. When I remember the tears on his face, and then when the phone call came in from the manager saying, "Welcome to the team," that was the craziest moment. We're all sitting at the TV watching the draft. He gets a phone call. Oh, it was a crazy. Nothing.
Wow. I mean, the worst thing we've ever had at a UK school is probably a fire drill. I mean, we don't get crazy things that often.
Dude, we can fix the can. Dude, yeah, man, they make us train what to do, man. Like, if there's a shooter, like, we have a whole like protocol we have to follow and everything.
Not just that, but you've got the earthquakes, you've got the hurricanes, you've got shooter drills. I mean, what else is there? Volcanoes? I mean.
One more. It's called obesity, man.
Fucking hell, man. I mean,
I think the obesity rate in the United States is over 50% now. I think it is.
Seriously?
I'm not kidding.
Oh wait, I'm gonna
look it up what it is. I know it's really, really high. Anyways, me and Dom, we live in an area. We're lucky to live in an area that's a pretty high-performing area. So we don't have as high of an obesity rate here.
Crime rate's good too.
Crime rate is good here. There's not a lot of bad things happening. But when we're talking like for the whole country, nationwide, the U.S., bro, we're one of the fattest countries there is, bro. Also, dude, so many foods that people eat here are literally banned in your country, bro.
Yeah.
Banned, but our McDonald's is not the same as yours.
No, it's not. Your burgers are the size of my head. It's 42.4%. 42.4% of the states is obese.
Almost half of our population is obese. And first of all, obese is not overweight. Obese is like a scientific term. You're so above overweight that you're obese.
Yeah,
that should be a number, dude.
Childhood obesity in California. Childhood obesity in California is 25%, 1 in every 4 children is obese in California.
What are our parents out here doing?
That's what I want to know. I thought you could answer that for me.
Any moms and dads in the chat, man, definitely feed your kids a good diet, man. You don't need to raise that number anymore.
That's incredible, honestly.
Oh, man, I wish you didn't tell me that.
Right, next question. So, what's something that you wish more people understood about fitness influencers?
Oh my god, I wish people understood how fake they actually are.
Mm.
Oh my god.
Yes.
We can have a whole hour-long discussion right now just about good lighting versus bad lighting.
Mm-hmm.
And that is like the smallest thing. That doesn't even include any editing, or we're not even talking about roids. First of all, I'm pretty sure steroids in the fitness world within influencers is the highest it's ever been. I think there's more influencers on roids that are roided up and get juiced up than ever before. I feel like even back in the day, that used to be a thing. Guys would go on steroids and do that, but it's very prominent. Even guys at the gym I go to, that I talk to, they've told me that they've done a cycle before. And I just think it's crazy that so many people do that. And I feel like people don't understand that if you're seeing an influencer on Instagram and they're a monetized influencer, they've got that verified check mark, odds are every post of their body has been changed.
Mm.
That's just the facts. If you're that level of influencer, it's just a given. And I feel like people just don't understand that. And I feel like it's also another reason why the rate of depression and mental illness, stuff like that, is also really, really high, higher than I think it's ever been before. Is because people have all of these horrible expectations of what they're supposed to be, and none of them are real. It's not even real expectations. It's based on something that's completely fake. Not to mention, they did a study in the U.S. On vaping in high school students. And it turns out that I think 40% of high school students reported that they used vaping as a form of appetite suppression. People think I look like that all the time, but that's not true. I take 2 steps forward, and all of a sudden I look so much different. And that's what I think people don't realize. I wish the gym was more based on how you feel and how you perform. Because if it was purely based on performance, I think we would just have such a more fit society and a lot healthier and happier society as well. These fake expectations are just a killer, man. All sorts of confidence. I've done a lot of research on steroids. I'm not saying I was debating it, but I'm saying I did my research, definitely was looking at the pros and cons of both sides. And what I discovered is 90% of guys from his era have already died because of their roid use. He's just one of the lucky ones. And I think nobody really talks about that, is that it's very normal for these roided up guys to die. And just it's not that big of a story, but that happens a lot, dude. These roids are terrible for you. And a lot more kids are getting on it than ever before. A lot of guys, like me and Dom, played sports with. Yeah. It's all because of these influencers. If the influencers weren't showing, it's almost like the influencers are promoting them. Like, oh, dude, I'm on roids. I can do whatever I want and get big and look great, pull all the girls, get successful like that. We're almost hyping up this idea of using things that are just absolutely horrible for you. So I just wish people were able to just stay away from that more. But it's really it's really everywhere. It really is.
Damn. Dom, do you agree with all that?
Of course, man.
Yeah.
I can see that. You can't let the fitness influencers trick you, man. They're using something. That's all what I tell myself. I know myself too much.
Roids are horrible, man. If you care at all about how you feel, besides how you look, you won't do it. Roids literally hurt every aspect of your life: your hormones, your brain, your mind, everything. Not even to mention your body.
How do you two feel about the enhanced games then? The Olympic Games where everyone's on roids.
I think when you look at sports, for example, right? I think sports do a good job because it shows purely just competition and skill and drive. You've got this top level of athletes that are doing what everyone else is doing. They're just a lot better at it. That's why they make so much money and they're up on the big screen and they're playing. Because they worked for it, they grinded for it, and they have the skill set to go alongside it.
Yeah.
I don't feel that way about steroids. I'm not trying to say I view it as a cheat, but it's not the same. When I look at an athlete, I have full respect for them because I know how hard they worked for all their results and their skills, and it's not something a normal person can do. So I don't understand why we do it here. We glorify it in this one thing, but every other aspect, if it's unhealthy, people don't approve of it. I don't know why we approve of this one thing that isn't healthy. I'll never understand that, really.
Yeah. Bro. Well, moving on to section 5. we have the fun and spontaneous section. Yes. So, this next question is more aimed at Dom, but
There we go. Let's go. See it. Let's see it.
do you have like a pre-gym ritual or like a gym superstition or something like that? Because for me,
okay, we do a post gym ritual. We
a
always
post-gym ritual.
I even did this without you, Gabe.
It's okay, man. I forgave you.
We're doing like on the spot freestyles,
Yeah.
and like chat gets to pick like what we talk about, what's happening with our day, and it's so fucking fun.
We
Trying
found
to think on the fly, and
we found that freestyling is a great creative way
It's so
to
good, yeah.
end the stream and to
Yeah.
feel good, man. It's a cool thing. Also, it's good for your brain, bro.
Oh,
Doing something like social media, trying to find words and rhymes and things to talk about.
Oh.
so engageful with see like everyone talking in the channel.
I know Ben
Yeah.
can drop a crazy style.
Yeah.
No, I cannot. I was going to say I'm so bad at freestyling. Like, I've had it in the
We're
car
all bad,
before.
Ben, we can give you the UK drill beat, bro. That is your specialty, right?
No, man. Even on a UK drill beat, I'm not dropping anything
No,
good. Anything that would come out my mouth just wouldn't rhyme, and it would. I'd be repeating things.
You should have heard us at the beginning,
Dude, 100.
I'm telling you,
You
we made a
always
ton of progress. Man. We made freestyles and got
Dude, it literally like in anything, the first time you start anything, you're always not gonna be like the best at it.
Like building up a muscle, dude. Remember your first set of bench press, bro, versus your last set of bench press recently, dude.
Yeah.
Trust me, I think that's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, although I think this is.
Well, you'll get somewhere.
Maybe that's our ritual. Our ritual around the gym is doing something that we suck at. Purely with the goal of
Yeah.
like it. It's fun. It's engaging. And it makes us a more rounded person.
Yeah.
It's what would be the worst. I'll literally look at Dom and say, Dom, what do we suck at, bro? What is the worst thing? We'll literally be honest with each other and be like, dude, I literally suck at this. I'm horrible at this. You can't do this. Save my life. I'm like, all right, dude.
Like day 1 versus day 15. Dude.
Yes, I will say, making the clips is fun, though.
Definitely fun.
Making the clips is fun, too, if you want to call that a ritual.
Yeah. Bro,
I'm gonna join one of your streams now. I'm just gonna see you both like trying to juggle or something, or like doing the most random exercise. It's gonna be so weird because with zero context.
Yeah, oh my god. I had to go to the doctor and like for my wrist. Wow, like 5 floors and I left hand. I went up to the lady at the front. I was like, can you read this? And she was like, no. I was like, good, me either. I mean, I've gotten better since then. I guess just I mean, I feel like doing stuff that you're not good at, that's a little bit out of the normal routine is just really good for your brain. I feel like doing stuff that's a little bit unusual is really, really just good for you.
Yeah. Okay, I'll be honest. I do actually have one. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, hear it. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
So gaming. Like I used to game so much, you know, I loved it. But honestly, I just can't, you know, it'd get to a point where I'd open up like Valorant or something and I'd just sit on the start screen, not even press go in.
Okay, Valorant might be one of the most rage-inducing games.
Okay, yeah. It really, really is. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, believe me.
Dude, I know. When I get body shot and all of a sudden my guy forgets how to walk in a straight line, I get so mad. I'm like, dude, just why can't you walk? So,
Nightmare.
yeah, I have to be. But I feel like back to your first question, bro, with the burnout, I feel like just mixing in things that you really do enjoy is probably the best way to help the burnout. Add it into things you don't like. Don't like schoolwork. Find something that you enjoy and just mix it in. It will help you get a few more hours out of it before you burn out.
Yeah.
All the streams, man, have to have a fun element.
There's always something new.
Dude, yeah, Dom ate ghost pepper flakes last.
Dude, literally.
Yeah, no, I saw that. I saw that actually. That was crazy. And you went right up to the camera. Your tears are streaming and your eyes are red. It's like.
Where Dom was at my house one night and we were streaming in my garage.
We were doing a group.
We were doing like a ghetto Korean barbecue with
Yeah.
like a electric skillet and all the meat and everything. But
See, I thought about that, and then I thought, actually, I'd rather not have the shits the next day. So,
I had a bunch of sticky. People like, hey,
we have viewers that are in love with farting now.
no, it's because I posted a clip on.
I mean, a lot of what I do, I often, because I live so close to the gym, so I'm literally like a 2-minute drive away. So actually a few of my streams, I've ended up streaming me in the car, driving home, and then making a protein shake and a meal. Just because I can.
I think you just answered what you're missing, bro. You need some carpool karaoke, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
You
maybe.
You already are talking to the people in the gym, telling them that you're streaming. Go one step up, dude. Go one step up. Do a carpool karaoke. Do a drill rap freestyle.
Dude, people would love it too.
Dude, people would
Yeah.
actually like it. I would watch the stream, Ben, if you were
Yeah,
doing stuff like that.
Thank you. But, I actually remember in like the first week of me starting the channel, I'd think to myself, like, what's my unique selling point? You two are businessmen. You both know a unique selling point. I was trying to find what makes me stand out to every other streamer on this platform. So I did a lot of research. I'd look into a lot of different channels. That's also how I found your channel, was not only through my stream saying that like 20% of the people that watch me also watch you, but also, I found you on the fitness and health thing, and I'd see what other people are doing to make their streams interesting, more lively, how they're growing. And that's kind of, so I've taken little snippets here and there, but every time I go live, I'm finding something new, and that's what I really enjoy. Trying to find something new each stream to keep it interesting, lively, and something new for people to enjoy. Now,
You are brand. You are 100%.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what's important. You got to stand out to everyone else. You got to be your own person, because that will make you stand out. So, I want to know: are there any gym pet peeves? Like, if you saw someone, to give an example, for me, if people are putting the weight on the bar and they do the smaller weight and then the bigger weight after, that really, really gets on my nerves. Like, it's so irritating.
Sorry, man. I keep dropping my phone, man. I'm the clumsiest person you'll ever meet.
It's okay.
I'll show you my pet peeve right now.
Okay.
This is it, right?
Okay.
This is my watch out. I'm moving over. This is my pet peeve. This right here. When I see people do this.
Oh, yeah.
It's all the way down. I hate this. Who does this?
Hopefully no one.
Who does that? But that's a pet. Seeing people do things the wrong way in the gym pains me. It's kind of a thing. Dude, the pet peeve is the old guys in the gym that like have sectioned off the whole area of the gym for themselves. They put towels on this machine, a water bottle on this machine, their phones on this machine. Like, dude, I hate to be the one to say it, but we both know if you're 70 years old, dude, you don't need to have 3 machines slotted to yourself. Anybody, I don't even need 3 machines slotted to myself. I mean, you work out.
All right, dude, that's what I was gonna say. So 99% of my workouts are in this garage gym, so I don't have to deal with like all these other people working out. I mean, the occasional dad or my brother sometimes comes down here, or he comes over, but it's just like it's not that big of a deal for me. But I'll give you something. So on the fitness category on streaming, has to do with my gym and also streaming.
Be careful where you go.
I don't want to say too much, but all I want to say is I click on these. I click on the channels to see like what people are doing, like you do, Ben, and stuff. And then I click on this like a couple girl creators, and nothing wrong with working out in the gym, but then they have this like link that they try to funnel the viewers in the gym to like OF or like just other paid subscriptions, and that's just to me really fucked up.
Yeah.
And no need to curse. I know we haven't been cursing on the stream really. But
No, it's fine.
But like, if the goal is to not inspire people in the gym or just be, trying to show the progress and uplift people, but the goal is to, show your body and then funnel people to pay for your rent because you want to show off your body. I just feel like that's really like screwed up in a sense.
Yeah, I have to say,
You're not really pushing. You're making the generation worse. Doing all the generation in a sense.
Literally, you know people who've done it.
Dude, I not only know people, I know a lot of like the people that I've been in friend groups with have become OnlyFans models actually, and they make a lot of money.
Blimey.
It bothers me a lot. Also, I don't know if you knew this, but apparently the top 60, it was either top 60 or something, the top 60 OnlyFans models made more money last year than the entire NBA. And I don't know if you know how much money the NBA makes every year, but it doesn't make sense that OnlyFans would make more than that, because NBA is one of the most things here in the States. So for OnlyFans to be making more money than that, to me, is crazy. And I do realize that, you know, men are at fault for that too, but it does bother me seeing a girl that's streaming a gym stream, and she's not even doing anything, and she's got 50 viewers, 100 viewers, and they're all there for one reason. And you she's not even really hitting a lift. She's just kind of there. Really crazy amount of success or fame or something to their name, and I don't want to say it's not deserved, but I feel like it should kind of be linear with contribution. I think people that contribute more naturally should be more successful. So it bothers me when someone is really successful and they're not really contributing much to society. That's always gonna bother me. I feel like, especially back to your last question about the social media and the influencers, I kind of feel like that exists more with women even than men. And I feel like, obviously, the gym space, I feel like, is mostly dominated by men. I think that's just kind of, especially here at least, there's a lot more men in the gym than women in the gym. And I feel like a big part of that is honestly the fact that it's mostly women that are editing their photos that are on social media. A lot bigger there. And I think that's a reason less girls go to the gyms, because they're less confident, they're less driven, they're less ambitious. They feel like it's not even possible for them to reach their goals because of how much fake stuff there is out in that space. So women in the fitness industry, I feel like needs a lot of work. I feel like it also needs to become a lot more genuine. Because I feel like there's a lot of steroid stuff with the guys and a lot of editing pictures and things like that. But when it comes to women, it's a lot bigger and a lot more prevalent there. So that's a big, oh gosh.
Yeah, I also think, like, I'm probably someone's pet peeve in the gym. You know, I'm the guy with the tripod and streaming his workout. You know, I'm someone's pet peeve. But also, like, if people are in the gym with their friends, just not working out, but sat at a machine, that really annoys me. Because, you know, especially, like, when I was at school, we had a school gym. And, you know, a lot of, like, all throughout every year group, you know, I don't know what you call them in the States, like freshmen and seniors, all that stuff, you know, across all the year groups, there were people in there in the gym. And it'd be great to see someone who's, you know, maybe 13, 14 years old in the gym. But when they're sat at the machine with like 4 of their friends around them, when there's only a certain number of benches available, that's really annoying. You know, I get really frustrated at that.
I agree with you. Ben, do you mind if I ask you a question, man?
Go for it, yeah.
You talked about, you know, pet peeves in the gym.
Yeah.
I feel like important to also, you know, talk about the opposite too. Like, what are some things that really get you hyped up in the gym if you see it in there? Because for me personally, if I see someone that's overweight and they're in the gym pushing hard, and you can tell that they're in there for a reason, and especially if you see them transform too. There's a guy at my gym over here, when he first started going, I swear he might have even been 400 pounds. Like, he was insanely obese. And now, dude, he looks like a completely different person. I go and I give him a fist bump every time I'm in there. That hypes me up so much.
Yeah.
I love seeing people that don't meet the physical standard that are in there grinding and pushing. And because we know it's uncomfortable, dude. It's hard to show up to the gym or show up anywhere for me compared to the norm. It's really hard. So that always pumps me up in that respect. I'm curious to hear from you, man, like what gets you hyped up when you see it in the gym?
What gets me hyped up is always myself. You know, I always manage to hype myself up. Whether it's I go into a set and I realize, oh my God, I'm doing 5 kg extra on the bench. You know, that's a big muscle. So 10 pounds in States. But, you know, it's things like that where you can even see me on the stream, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to put more weight on the bench this time. I give it a go, I do really well, and then I get up and I'm like, let's fucking go. Like, this is great news, this is a great milestone.
I wish I was right next to you, man, with a nap on waiting.
Yeah, exactly, honestly.
Is there even a better feeling, dude? A PR might be one of the in like top 3 for best feelings.
Yeah, 100%. Not
Honestly, I
even.
can't for everyone. That's why I always try to encourage people, especially in the chat. And honestly, your chat too. I'm sure you do the same. Try to encourage them to do it because I know for myself, hitting that PR is such an uplifting experience. And I want everyone to be able to feel that.
Yeah,
everyone, as a community, we would just all be better if everyone's experience.
Yeah,
So,
100%.
I also think working out is a great way to prevent, I don't want to say like depression, but that's the word I'm going to use. I think lifting is a great, natural, healthy way to combat that, especially in a society and a generation where drugs and alcohol is a big deal, especially here, because we live in California.
What about you, Dom? What's like the thing that lifts you up in the gym? Really motivates you?
Dude, it could be on stream, bro, if you see it on
It's definitely like streaming for me. Like,
Yeah.
like whenever I'm like streaming on like the live, because that's the past like 2 months now. I've been just like almost every day I've been on live working out. Like before I would just work out on my own, but now I'm getting like all these people come in and come out, and they're all like, "Dude, you're looking massive, dude. I came in before, and now you're lifting that much. That's awesome." And dude, I'm like, "You're a big inspiration, man." And there's even like a couple guys when we were working out that were like really like, "Whoa!"
Like it feels, it's a sense of community. It feels great.
You know, it feels great to have people look up to you, and it feels also great to help them. Right? It feels great that knowing like, dude, you hit like we literally checked on Cecil like, "Oh, you hit any PRs today?" Like that was like the first thing.
One of our viewers, Cecil, he's a great guy. Cecil, giving you a shout out. He's been in the stream. He's been active chatting, and went to his Instagram. We watched his lifting videos. We obviously followed up, liked his stuff, and then we actually have a Discord server too where people have been joining from the stream, and we hope that not many people put their gym pictures in there yet, but we want people to be putting their gym pictures in there, hyping everyone up. We want that to be a space where you go to get that motivation.
The final few questions. We're probably only going to do like 2 or 3 of these, depending on how we're doing.
This has been a really good video.
Yeah, dude, Jen, thank you for taking time to do
No, honestly, it's no problem at all. I appreciate you gentlemen for doing this. It's really, hopefully it helps grow both of our channels,
Yeah,
Right. I want to know, if someone is watching this and struggling to stay consistent, what would you say to them? What would your advice be?
Dude, go for it.
The first thing I usually say to people that are saying that, especially in the stream, is it's not one day, it's day one. And that's like the biggest, like so simple and it's so deep at the same time. So much like in life, everyone puts off like everything they want to do. Like, "Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll go in the gym." No, it's day one. Once you start day one, it goes from like really hard mentally to like, I'm gonna actually start being consistent with it. And then once that day one starts, you're gonna start seeing results. You're gonna feel better about yourself. So I try to tell every new viewer and even people I meet in like at school or whatever I do. Like, just today. Today's the day. Like, no, tomorrow. No, today's the day. You literally could do it today for most things. Like, everything can happen in the day. There's 24 hours in a day. That's a lot of time if you think about it.
Give tomorrow a chance until tomorrow brings a change. And I stand by that 100%. What I mean by that is everyone has this expectation that they need to be perfect. And I feel like that's the biggest limiting belief we have. You don't have to be perfect. Like I said, the difference between 1 cent per week and 10 cents is this huge difference. But then 20 to 25 is this small difference. All that shows that just starting, just doing it and trying, even if it's less than optimized, it's still a game changer.
Yeah.
I'm reading this book right now. It's called Ready, Fire, Aim. And the whole premise of it is that you fire before you aim. And I feel like the crucial point, the lesson behind that is that successful people, the one thing they all have in common is they thrive in environments where they're unsure. I feel like as people, we need to get away from this idea that you have to be sure about it and know everything before you deliver. The act of starting is the hardest thing, but also the best thing. If you've got 500 steps until your goal, it's daunting looking at it. Because it's like, dude, I can't take 500 steps in one leap. That's too far. But what people don't realize is today, take step one. And take another step. Take another step. And after a little bit of time of doing that, eventually you're just going to find yourself at step 500. Instead of looking at it from a distance, So I just feel like overall, it's got to be just going for it before you have all the answers, before you know what's going to happen, before you know every possible outcome, input, output. You don't need all that. Sometimes it's the act of starting that will bring you all the success. And then that's why I give you props, bro. And same with you, Dom, is you guys started the stream, you started the channel, started the brand with no idea if it was going to work. Nothing but faith and grind. That's it. Blood, sweat, and tears, man. Grinding. You fired before you had all the aim lined up, and you adjusted the aim afterwards.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most key thing to success, and I applaud both of you guys for doing it genuinely.
Yeah.
And I hope everyone in the chat takes that to heart too. Sometimes you have to fire before you're fully aimed and lined up, because you might never do it otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. You know, one quote that I live by, we're all going to give a quote now, is it goes like this, because it's one of those things that I actually might get tattooed on my body one day. Like, you don't know this, but I actually have 3 tattoos. I've got one on my arm, one on my back, and one on my foot. But the quote that I might get tattooed, it goes like this. It goes like this. It is what it is, and we are where we are. It doesn't matter how we got there, it matters how we react from now on. It basically just summarizes that it doesn't matter how you got there. You know, fuck that. Fuck everything in the past. You are where you are. It's time to react to what's happening now. It goes for every situation ever. Something bad has happened at work. Fine. Do you react by wondering how you got to this situation and being upset about it? Or do you think, right, I need to move on and fix this problem. I need to figure out and react to this issue. You know, what's the best reaction? You know, it's a really, really great way of thinking of things.
Of course, and Ben, to add on to that, I think actually they did a study on things that the most successful people have in common, and that's like traits like focus, drive, stuff like that. But they found that one of the biggest things was anticipation. And I realized that a lot of people that are a little bit weaker, they hit a roadblock or a challenge or an obstacle, and then that's it. That's what stops all progress. Whereas successful people, they anticipate the obstacle before it comes, and they have a plan in place. How do I deal with the bad thing that happens? How do I react in the best way to still push on and push forward and make progress regardless of what happens? So I think that's great, man. You do need to react to the world around you and where you currently are, other than being hung up on what's happened in the past. And then I also think in terms of future success, you need to anticipate what could be a problem in the future and have a plan to fix it before it happens. And I think that's crucial for success. And I thought that was really interesting that all these top entrepreneurs have this in common, is that they the bad things before they happen. So, dude, I love your man. That's great.
Yeah, it's a really good one. I love it so much. Next question is, what's next for you? You know, what are your big plans? What are your goals? You know, what's next?
Are we talking specifically in the gym, or are we talking like life in general?
I'm talking more the channel itself. Like, is there... do you have... Yeah, are you talking... I don't know. You mentioned a little bit, but it depends if you want to talk about it on stream.
Don't give away too much.
And I told Ben our killer idea. But I didn't. It wasn't on the stream. We're not gonna relax it there.
It doesn't matter, dude.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Don't want to talk about it.
You know, for the channel wise, you know, the Twitch for right now, you know, just streaming like gym is like our staple, and then we want to do other things too. Of course, like car talks, or cooking streams, and different again, it all centers around like fitness, which is cool. Fitness, of course. And you know, they're just for interacting in the chat. You know, working out. You know. Bettering yourself during the channel. But the YouTube is going to be more like informative content, where you're more based on you know, trying to learn something. You want to have the audience member be like, oh, I wonder why that is, or how that is, or how you know, and that a lot of those video ideas are going to be like fitness related.
And our target audience is the people that want to get better but don't know how. And I think I think that's most people. I don't think there's anyone out there that doesn't want to become better. I think everyone wants to become better, but most people don't because they don't know how. Yeah. And that's where I want us to come in. I think our biggest plan for the future is just making these long form videos that are obviously fun and exciting and have cool visuals and effects and things like that, but also that give you the insight that you need to make progress without even you realizing. It's almost like you're watching a video for enjoyment, but you end up learning something that makes a huge difference in life. And that's what we want to do, especially with our people in chat. We try to be very genuine. The streams kind of show our routine, our daily stuff, day to day, what we do. But the YouTube, that's really the big future thing we're focused on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bring videos that are entertaining, but also give you the tools that you need for success. Because I think the strongest skill isn't the act of actually having the skills required to do something, but the art of being able to attain those skills. And I think that's what we're trying to accomplish, is teaching people the skill set to gain more skills rather than the skill set to do one thing. You know, I don't know if that makes sense, but
Yeah, no, that's really good.
a growth mindset.
Exactly, and this is like better for people to consume rather than just like brain rot and all this shit. Like we want to have like a mix of like you said, entertaining and just information. And then if you can mix that, then it's just like, then one day, man, we all got to get like a stream or a video. Like
100%. We've got to get something physically together. That'd be so cool. I'd love that.
That'd be, like, imagine a full circle. We like see that like moment in time where like we reflect on this like whole interview. Of course, and like, that's like a crazy moment.
Yeah, but I feel like,
but it's very cool.
That's our drive. Our drive for doing this is we want to bring everyone around us.
Yeah,
they're with us. You know, to me, a happy world isn't one where I'm winning myself. It's when I'm winning all the people that's maybe the whole way through. You know,
yeah.
The top.
And genuinely, I get just as much enjoyment watching Dom hit the bench PR as I do when I hit it myself.
Oh, he tells me. He literally tells me, even though he's like in pain, it's like, and can't do the stuff, he's always fired up for me, and he's always proud of me. And I'm always proud of him too. In all that case, like where you're hitting your legs, and he's still like going for runs and stuff. Like, dude, that's great.
Of course,
dude,
man,
like
it's all about self-improvement.
That's what it is, man.
Grind never stops. Never stops.
It's like betterment improvement.
Yeah, that's really, really good. So tell me, final question, I think. Yeah, final question. Where can people follow your journey? Give yourselves a shout out.
Oh my gosh, Dom, this
Here we go. DomCosLive, that's the brand name, but soon, actually very soon, we're probably going to change the YouTube brand name once we get a little more subscribers on that, get a little more traction.
Yeah, Ben, we're thinking, you ever heard of the Trend Twins? You ever heard of that?
Yeah, no, I know the Trend Twins.
We're trying to have our brand be a play on the Trend Twins.
Yeah.
Instead of us being the same and on roids, it focuses on us being completely different builds, like completely different people, but also people.
Yes,
that's kind of like the goal we're going for. The brand idea we're going for is that we're completely different body types, completely different starting points.
Yeah.
Yet we're both seeing the same goals, and we're both gonna hype each other up.
Yeah, and maybe another day you can have your own like Twitch, and I can post into your Twitch stream, and then you come to mine. Like kind of thing. The YouTube, we have our like separate streams.
Maybe even
that'd be sick.
Yeah, maybe even eventually into the business world a little bit. For both of us, that's a lot more behind the scenes.
And he's got a lot more like the behind the scenes website editing.
Yeah.
Like a different money making.
Yeah, a lot of the income based business could be another cool thing to bridge. Time comes from.
Look, I'm live every 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so States time.
Wait, are you going live after this?
No. Today's my rest day, so I've got nothing on. I'm just gonna pack in a bunch of food and relax. That's my plan, just to relax.
Dude, you know what you do, man? You gotta put your cooking journey. You said
there you go. Yes.
Might as well do a series of learning how to cook as someone with no experience.
With zero, literally no experience whatsoever. It'd be titled "Do not try this at home."
If you had the cooking clips showing the process and the final result, and you're like day 14, day 15, day 16, learning how to cook as someone with no experience. Dude, that's a cool segment to do, bro.
I do really like that.
Dude, you can go live with that, take the clips from the live, and then now you have a stream every day of that, or like not maybe every day.
Yeah, you can have
every time you do it, and also the YouTube. So it's like you're two birds in one stone. Dude,
exactly.
You grow Twitch, you grow YouTube, bro.
Anyway, gents, I want to thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for helping me do this. I know it's been a couple weeks in the works, but I really appreciate it. I wish you both the absolute best for your journeys. You're both incredible people. Anyone watching this video, please go subscribe and follow DomCosLive and his co-host on their channels and future anything you do. I really appreciate it, really appreciate your help. And when all this is done, editing and all of that stuff, I'll send it over to you. I hope everything's going well, and I hope the rest of your stream goes well, gents. So thank you very much.
Had a blast. Thank you, man. There's a lot. Be ready for our incoming raids, man.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I will. Thank you very much, gents. Seriously,
Much love,
have a
man.
great rest of your
Much
stream.
love.
Of course, man.
Hell yeah.